Athena Efstasiou, the face and founder of Instagram sensation and celebrity makeup artistry, Goddess Beauty, talks to me today about how her retail journey shaped her career and how she urges anyone who's even thinking about a career in makeup to look no further than the shop floor. Welcome, Athena.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. We're going to start the podcast just so that you can introduce yourself to our audience. So who is Athena and what is Goddess Beauty?
So my name's Athena. I'm a celebrity makeup artist and also a teacher. And what was the other question? What is Goddess Beauty?
Yes.
Goddess Beauty is my brand name. Obviously Athena is a Greek mythological goddess. So I thought, wow, this works. Goddess Beauty and making women feel like goddesses.
And what a goddess you are. Let's just make that really clear.
Thank you so much.
So I want to go right back to the beginning. Where did this all come from? What ignited any passion that you had for the beauty industry or makeup? And what gave you the inspiration to make it your full-time career?
So I didn't really know what I was doing with my life. I quit uni. I was just in depression. I was like, nothing makes me happy. I was getting fired from jobs because I find it impossible to do something I don't enjoy. And I would just spend hours and hours in my room looking at different YouTube videos, obsessed with makeup videos. This was the time that makeup on YouTube first got big. So I would spend hours and hours in my room practicing different makeup looks. And then people would be like, oh, you do your makeup nice. Can you just do mine? And I was like, okay, why not? This is fun. And I was like, oh, I really enjoy this. So then I was...
And obviously good at it.
Well, you get there. At first, I probably wasn't. I was probably awful. If I look back now, I'd be like, oh my God, I did that.
You need to dig out some pictures and do some befores and after.
I know. I probably deleted them from trauma. And then I was like, I'm going to be a makeup artist. So that was where the journey began.
So you decided to take the retail route. From what I understand. Mm-hmm. So tell me about that. How did you get into retail and who did you work for?
So this is going back so many years, back in the old days. How did I get into retail? I think I started off with agency work and then I got into Estée Lauder, the Estée Lauder branding, then I worked for Tom Ford, Bobbi Brown and then eventually for MAC.
Who did you prefer?
So
what products? What's your go-to now?
So I love all of the products. For me, the funnest place to work was MAC because it allowed me to really explore with different colours. And also, when I started makeup, being a MAC girl was the it thing. You put it on your bio, you were so excited. You had to have little tests to get into working at MAC. And then
was that the interview process you had
and then even when you work at MAC you've got different tests to be different levels of something. I can't even remember, it was so long ago, but it was a real honor to be a MAC girl. So I loved working at MAC, but also the other brands gave me so much experience of working with different types of clients and different age ranges and all sorts.
I just remember when I was younger going to MAC to get my makeup done and buying my makeup from MAC. It was just the most prestigious thing.
Wasn't it?
It was just incredible. Yeah. So I know exactly what you mean. I'm sure loads of people listening will resonate with them.
Exactly.
How do you feel that experience has shaped your career? How has it helped you in your career now?
So I really urge everyone becoming a makeup artist to work on counter. Working on counter, and especially because I worked at different counters, I learned to deal with every type of person ever. Every character, every skin colour, every skin type. It really teaches you to just be able to get on with it. And now I can look at you and I can mix your colour on my hand. I can get different foundations, mix your perfect colour just by looking at you. So that's what being on counter teaches you. It gives you resilience, it gives you the capability to really colour match people, and it gives you interpersonal skills.
Do you feel that there was a particular brand, maybe MAC, that gave you some training that you feel is completely invaluable, and tips and tricks that you still use in your day-to-day work now?
So many talented makeup artists started at MAC. So learning from these amazing artists and watching them do their thing and being able to ask them questions. And we had so much training from like pros and all different types of professionals in different sectors, like from like special caricature makeup. Like there was a lot of avenues that MAC introduced. So yeah, invaluable, and they wanted us to do better because MAC had such a high standard.
So do you feel that it was MAC that really inspired you to go freelance? Because I hear a lot of MAC girls, I speak to a lot of them now, that always did something on the side, but maybe didn't, elevate their careers as much as you have. But what was the turning point where you thought, right, now's the time for me to go on my own?
So I'm a very driven person in general. I've always been this way. I love to, if I've set a goal, I'm not going to reach the goal, I'm going to go above the goal. So my goal was always to be freelance and to work with high profile clients. That was always my number one goal. And I saw working on counter as a means to get my craft up to top notch and gain more clients and build up my kit. My knowledge, and then eventually be able to go freelance when I can get enough clients that make enough money that I'm making on counter.
Exactly. So thinking back to that time where you took the leap, what were the biggest challenges that you faced?
Oh my God, it was terrifying. I remember literally having panic attacks. Like, I felt so sorry for my boyfriend at that time. It was a terrifying time because no longer are you going to get that paycheck at the end of the month. Like, you now have to source and market yourself. Marketing is so important. How am I going to get my name out? What if I don't make however much at the end of the month? What am I going to do? So it was so scary, but I did it.
So I'm going to jump the gun a little bit, because this was a question I was going to ask you later on in the interview. But now, obviously, you've become such a huge influencer, which is absolutely incredible. But it's a full-time job, essentially, right?
It's a whole thing.
So it's a whole thing, absolutely. And, we speak to loads of people that are in the influencer game and huge on social media, but you've got your full-time job essentially is a celebrity makeup artist. So how do you juggle that, keeping consistent on your social media and then still doing your full-time job, which is to be a makeup artist internationally for incredible celebrities?
It's really hard. But I have a manager that deals with my Instagram stuff. So I was really not being able to cope. So she deals with all of my brand partnerships. She does the deliberating with prices and outsourcing and all of that stuff. So she deals with that. I get sent the work, and then I just have to really schedule my days. She has access to my calendar when I've got shoots on, and then she will put in the work accordingly, and she'll ask me, can you fit this in? Can you do this by Thursday? I know you've got this job and this job and this job. Will you be able to do it? And I will, I'm very regimented. I have to have on my calendar, okay, this day I have to do this, this and this. So that's how I fit things in.
So being super strict with your time is absolutely key, I can imagine. Okay. Going back to them brand partnerships, and that's a huge part of influencing. Yeah. And again, it massively helps with your makeup career as well, because there will be some brands that you must enjoy working with. Was there a particular collaboration that was a turning point for you, or that you found really memorable, that you enjoyed doing?
I want to say when MAC first asked me to do a paid collaboration for them, because it's such like a 180. It's such I used to be on counter and look at these girls that got to go to these events and all of this stuff, and who used to work with MAC online and stuff like that, and I used to be like, oh, I wish that was me, and now it is me, and it's so, I've got goosebumps. It's
so much. That's an amazing thing.
No, it's so weird, I'm gonna cry. Yeah. So that was like a whole, like I had to take a minute and be like, oh my God, look what I did.
How did that come about? Did they reach out to you? How did that all happen?
Yeah, they reached out. They reached out to my manager, and then she does with it.
That must have been the most incredible feeling in the
yeah.
world. I can't even imagine, but you know, just looking at you now, it's like, wow, this has actually happened, that full transition.
This whole circle, yeah.
So what do you think, Athena, it is about you? What sets you apart from, well, what did set you apart, say, from your peers who you were working with at Mac at one point that maybe are still there and haven't reached where you have? What was the difference that made the difference in you?
When I want something, I stop at nothing to get it. I will work for free. I will work 12 hours. And I did. I really did. I did whatever I could and whatever I needed to network. I used to work music videos in God knows where with assisting people for free. There was no ego with me. You tell me I've done something wrong, please tell me how I can do it better. There is no, and I feel like that is what a lot of people don't understand. You need to let go of your ego, and if you want something, go after it.
I think as well, something that's really important that you just mentioned there, and we talk about it a lot in our assessment centres and when we're taking on new staff, to go out to work through our agency, that your attitude is more important than your experience all day long.
And that also is so if you're assisting someone and you want to do the utmost, that's when they'll ask you to assist them again. And then you get to meet a whole nother set of people and you get to network with a whole other set of people. It's your attitude above all. I may not be the most talented makeup artist. I may not be, everyone's opinion is different, but I do work hard.
So working hard is the key.
Yeah,
absolutely. I think it's in all areas of life.
Yeah.
Talk us through how you gained your first celebrity client.
So I was at Mac, and I was like, I think, how did I do this?
So you were on counter at the time.
Yeah.
You hadn't gone freelance yet.
No. I just always knew I wanted to be a celebrity makeup artist. So I remember it was Love Island. Love Island was out. Maybe some of the first seasons, I'm not sure. And I just messaged every single person on Love Island. And I was like, I made up the most crap. And I was like, I'm a celebrity makeup artist. I've been working for however many. I made up absolute crap.
Fake it till you make it. Athena.
Fake it till you make it, apparently. I don't know who I thought I was. But I just sent out so many emails, I don't know how I found these emails, but I was on a mission. And a couple took the bait. And
numbers game.
It was the numbers game.
Putting yourself out there.
Yeah. And then I got it, and honestly, I think it went on Daily Mail, and I think I saw these pictures like, when iPhone reminds you of something from years ago, and I was like, oh my God, this is awful. Someone let me do this to them. And this was on the Daily Mail. There's a reminder.
I'm sure it wasn't bad. I mean, you're super talented and you've been working for Mac. How bad could it have been?
But yeah, that is how I did it. I was a bit crazy.
But then from there, how did it then evolve? Couldn't have been that bad.
Yeah, well, no, she loved me. She used to use me all the time. I then met her team, whatever. I met her friends, and that was the beginning of networking into that industry. So
going back to your day-to-day and being super busy, what does a day in the life of Athena look like?
It's honestly so different every single day. I find it really hard to time out because everybody always wants a response. It could be anything, and my life is so last minute. Like, I could get a message now from a client being like, I need you in an hour, and I'd be like, okay, coming. Honestly, it could be anything from shooting all day for a brand, or it could be me making content at home, or me literally just glued to my laptop doing invoices and sorting out emails and all of this stuff. So
where do you find the time to sort of keep up to date with all the latest trends and try and implement them in your work? How do you find that time?
It's so hard. TikTok, I'm just scrolling, and then I'll save, and then I'll see what's trending and what I need to do. And I'll ask my friends, what is it that you think is trending right now, or what would you want to learn to do? So yeah, or I'll do polls on Instagram and be like, hi guys, what do you want to learn?
It's always good though to put it out there because it's for your audience and that's what keeps them engaged. Going back to social media, it's obviously a powerhouse in itself, right? So how did you navigate that? How did you get to the point of 100K?
It took me a long time. But then over lockdown, obviously, okay, so lockdown really hit really badly. It was illegal to work. If you were caught working, you'd be fined something stupid like £3,000-4,000, and there was actually people ratting you out. It was wild. So all I could do, I was so depressed because I was like, who am I? If I can't work, what am I anymore? All I could do was make content. And that was it. And then suddenly, like, my TikTok blew up and my Instagram blew up and everyone was reposting me. Like, literally my reposts, I'd be like scrolling. I'd be like, is that me? That people are reposting. Like,
do you remember which videos they were? Specifically?
No, I can't remember, but it was loads at the same time. Like, it was both. I think maybe it was because of TikTok that one blew up and then the other one, I don't know. But then the algorithm loved me, and then anything I posted would be like reposted so much by so many different people. And that was really how my following grew.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So with having such a huge following online, how do you deal with any negative criticism or trolling, or especially when, you know, you're doing something like your own makeup, which is so personal to you? How do you deal with that criticism?
So you really have to have thick skin, as crap as it is and as generic as that is for me to say. So when I first blew up, I was getting a lot of hate because obviously your videos are being pushed out to like millions of people, so of course you're going to get hate, and it did affect me. It was really horrible, but then I just have
hate
to be
like what
like,
could
you
they possibly hate about you?
You look like a man, you think you're this, you're ugly, like just so much.
Just got to be resilient and see it as a positive. So, well, at least you're watching.
I mean, you know what they say about press. Yeah.
All press is good press.
All press is good press, something like that.
So going back to the retail world, and I know that you mentioned that you believe that in your world, everybody should do a stint on counter.
Yeah.
There will be loads of people listening to this now that want to follow in your footsteps. What advice would you give them apart from working hard and getting onto the shop floor?
What got me through is that I knew that this wasn't my end goal. I knew that being on counter wasn't my end goal, but I knew that it would give me the tools that I needed to be able to achieve what I wanted. That would be my advice, is to look at the bigger picture.
In terms of your key skills, you are obviously talented in your artistry. You've done so much research on what the current trends are. You know your clients. But what key skills and attributes do you think are absolutely vital for being a successful makeup artist?
So I would say be personable. Nobody wants to be one-on-one so close to someone who's just not nice or like doesn't want to, you know, speak and doesn't want to open up. It's such a personal thing. You've got a client feeling probably they're most vulnerable without makeup. And they're there because they want you to feel good. Like they want you to make them feel good. So be nice, be open, hear them, really understand what they want. This isn't about you. You're just the hand. Listen to your client, get rid of your ego and tailor it for them. It's a whole experience. It's not just being a makeup artist. It's an experience.
Absolutely, and that's the same, I think, in fashion retail as well. And it is, you know, when you see somebody in that is being that vulnerable and they want you, they're expecting you to make them feel special, it also will make you feel really good, gives you great job satisfaction.
Yeah, that's why I love my job. Like I love makeup, but I do my job because I love making women feel good, and I love women. I love making women feel wonderful because we are wonderful.
I saw something recently actually that I thought was amazing, that you were involved in the Soho House International Women's event. Tell me about that.
So they asked me to do a masterclass, which was unbelievable, at White City. It was amazing. I had a Porsche come and pick me up.
Wow.
I know.
Celeb status.
I mean, who is she? And I got to do a masterclass. I did 2 looks with all of these inspiring women watching, and I really got to connect with the audience. It was amazing.
I'm going to ask you something that's a little bit different now, just because I'm sure there'll be loads of ladies, listening who have to wear makeup for work every day. In retail, we ask for a minimum of, say, 3 items of makeup, when on the shop floor. Those that are listening that aren't necessarily confident in doing their own makeup, what tips could you give to help them feel good putting on their makeup before they go to work every day?
I would say keep it simple. You don't need to overcomplicate it. I feel like a lot of people get really overwhelmed because they're like, oh, I have to do this eyeliner, I have to do this contour. No, let's just keep it simple. Just do your base. Your base could be, for you, it could just be powder, or it could just be a BB cream. Just do your base. Make sure that your skin feels flawless or looks flawless, because then you're going to feel confident. Maybe pop on a lip because it's going to give you a bit of colour, and then perhaps some mascara. And I feel that's really achievable for everyone.
Absolutely, I think so as well. And
Yeah.
whenever in doubt, put on a red lip. It's always been my motto forever.
Yeah, there you go. And red is really back in fashion. Like these cherry lips and like strawberry makeup and I don't know, all these names. But it's back in fashion. So yeah, pop on your red lip, girl.
Good, because I'm a big fan of a red lip.
I love a red lip.
I love it too.
Yeah.
I really do. So that's made me happy now.
Yeah.
So tomorrow morning, red lipstick's coming out.
Get it, girl.
I will do. I think a question I have to ask you, just because of the title of this podcast and, what this is all about. What is your perception of excellence?
My perception of excellence is achieving to what you believe is the best of your ability, but being very honest with yourself and achieving what you believe is to the best of what you can do.
I think that's an amazing answer. I guess lastly, what do you think is next for Athena and Goddess Beauty? I mean, I feel that you've reached, all heights, but for you, what's the next goal?
So my next goal, I'm going to keep quiet. Yeah, I can't tell you. But hopefully by the beginning of next year, you'll see.
Keep tuned.
Keep tuned.
Yes, amazing. What do you hope to leave as your legacy on the makeup and beauty industry?
What I hope to leave as my legacy is that I want to encourage women to know that they are beautiful, regardless of makeup or no makeup. My job as an artist really is to just make sure you feel good. Like, even if it's just a pep talk and some BB cream, if that's all you want me to do. I just want all women to know that they are beautiful regardless. And I feel so blessed by God that I get to do a job that encourages this.
It's been so lovely to speak to you and hear your story, and I'm super grateful for you joining me today. So thank you so much, and we're so excited to hear what's going to happen next for Athena and Goddess Beauty. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.